What's going on, ESGN Nation, and welcome back to the latest episode of the Stanford Cardinals Online Dynasty, episode 61, and we're in week 11, and we are in the middle of our bye week. Actually, 2 bye weeks coming up. We have 2 bye weeks coming back in a row. This one in week 11, and then also in week 12. But I'm just gonna just combine them kind of together here and just kind of give my overall view of the season so far here with the Stanford Cardinals. Just take a look here. We're looking at the season numbers right now. 33 touchdowns and 19 interceptions. Not a good ratio I feel comfortable with. I wish we were in the single digits, actually. We are in the double digits, geez. I wish we were in the single digits right now in the interception department there. We are completing pretty good number of our passes, 72% of our passes. We got sacked 17 times. A lot of those are coverage sacks there because we just get out of the pocket way too much with Joel James. But the young man from Texas is having a pretty good year. He's over 2,000 yards passing here. He could reach the 3,000 mark. We still got 2 more on season games plus the conference championship. And if we play we'll play in a bowl game for sure, but especially a national championship game, he could definitely get there. But there you see his attributes, his skills so far here. He's improving quite a bit here. I just wish we can just improve in that awareness and of course accuracy there. Accuracy got to get better there. Some of those interceptions are mine. Not all of them are, but some. And I'll take the blame for some of those there. I made some bonehead plays there from time to time. But I think a lot of it is just because he just veers back and just tries to chuck it. It's like, no, I hit the button, just throw it. So I don't know what the deal is, but we're trying to figure out here. And he's, like I said, week by week, he's getting better and better. And I'm hoping that we'll see more of that, more of the getting better progress in that direction there, for at least for his sake, for his career here with us. He is a sophomore red shirt there, so he'll probably be around here next season. I don't see him leaving early. Isaiah Davis, there you see his numbers there: 504 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions for the season. And that young man, he is a bona fide 100% freshman. But I think with some more playing experience, the experience that he has so far, and of course we'll try to give him some more here, if we can get him involved in games, especially if we have to run the score up. He's going to be a good quarterback for us in the future. I really do. I think he has a good future with us. And he could take over the reins probably if he does really well over the offseason. He could take over next year. Phil Graham, of course, he is out for the season because of an injury. But the redshirt junior has been on our thoughts quite a bit here, as he's been pretty much doing a great job there on the ground. We need to utilize him a lot more, and I'm now noticing that we should have used him a hell of a lot more than we did. But I'm really trying to get the passing game and get the rhythm of the passing game going for like that. I gotta get Joel James. I just gotta throw him out of that funk, and that's what we've been doing here lately with the passing game. But Graham, had a great season up to that injury. Unfortunately, it was a freak injury, and he probably will not be able to play in the bowl game, so we won't see him until next year if he decides to come back next year. I hope he'll stick around here, even though he was short of it, what he had so far. 10 touchdowns. He easily was a 1,000-yard rusher this season, easily. But unfortunately, with that leg injury, we won't get to see that. And that sucks. It really does. But everybody else, Walker, Hell, Smith, and even the quarterbacks there have been helping out in the running game there. Especially Hell. He's going to be a great guy. We're converting him from a wide receiver position to a halfback position because he has good ball handling skills and also a good running. He's just a great runner, and since we have a logjam on the wide receiver position, I think that's best place right now for him. So we can use his, you get those legs going and stuff like that, get that speed that he has. I don't want to keep him just sitting on the bench. We got to get him active and going. and that's been working out so far for us. Brandon Walker, he was our starter 2 seasons ago, and then turned around. We just did not have no faith in him, and now since Graham is now injured, and now he's been showing that liveliness again. He's been showing that he wants to play. He's hungry for the ball. We've been doing a good job with him. Run the football here, and I really feel like at some point here he's going to have a breakout game. He's going to have a game where he is just going to tear it up, and I'm hoping and praying it's coming up here in 2 weeks when we get to that Cal game, because Cal's ranked number 5 in the nation. We need to use the running. We need to run a lot in that game, and I'm really hoping Brandon Walker will step out in that field and just put that field on blaze when it comes to the running game. So that is something I'm really looking forward to. I'm hoping to have a big, huge game coming up against Cal. Of course, the man of the hour, a lot of people are talking about in the Nationals arena, is no other than DeAndre Mark, a young man from Muscle Shoals, Alabama, 6'5", 258 pounds. He's got he has 1,779 yards, 23 touchdowns this season, and this kid is going to be a star in the NFL. I cannot wait to bring him over. All the players that we have on this team, they do well. I'm gonna recreate them in the Madden series at some point there. If not the current Madden, maybe in the future Maddens. Madden 22, of course, coming around the corner here. So there's a good chance we'll see him at some point here. And of course, you guys can also create him once the season's over with, because I will have those documents out online where you guys can recreate these players and put them in your own franchises or career modes or whatever you guys want to do with those players I have. So I'll have those documents coming out here pretty soon here on released here. I'll have a big YouTube video about it here coming up. But as we take a look here and see, he has some pretty good traits here, and he's a really good at catching traffic, route running there. He knows what he's doing in that field. He knows, he's learned from a lot of good players. So far, we've been here, this is our 4th year here. He's blossomed to a great player, and learned a lot from Coach TJ Bonds, because, of course, TJ Bonds, he was a halfback here at Stanford many years ago. And then when he got to the NFL, he played halfback, but then he got converted to a fullback, but also then a tight end position. So he knows what to do in that fullback position, or that tight end position and stuff, in the fullback position. So he's had experience there in the NFL, and he's kind of passed that on to his team, especially his backs and his tight ends there. But there you see the numbers there for our guys there, and of course, a lot of these sacks, a lot of them not their fault. They're trying to do their best, and I gotta tip my hat to them because they've been doing a great job, offensive line there. Some of them are their fault, but I say a good majority are my fault, because a lot of those are cover sacks, and me stepping out on the outside of the pocket and just trying to go look down the field or try to run and get caught in the backfield there. That's my fault. So we'll have to see how they do here. So far, they've been doing a great job here towards the second half of the season there, and it's been working out very well. Defensively here, it's been really nice. Mosley, there you see 54 tackles for him so far this season. He's leading that. I believe he's even leading the tackles for loss there. He's a redshirt senior, and unfortunately, you guys, this is going to be his last year. He is the captain of that middle linebacker position. Now, the last couple of games here, he's been kind of MIA. He's been kind of missing in action in there, and we've kind of missed that here. He's been he's been making some big plays there, but he hasn't been, seen quite as much as he did earlier this season. So we're hoping that he'll make a big impact coming up in that Cal game. He knows how important that game is. He actually had a really good game last year in that Cal game, and hopefully he'll do that again here coming up in this one. But this should be a good week. It should be a good time, and I cannot wait to see how well he does here. Just take a look at his stats there. He's just a monster of a middle linebacker. Of course, he is going to be one of those players that I will definitely bring over into our Madden series. If not in this current one I'm in right now, but future Madden series. Because a lot of these players I'm going to recreate and bring them into drafts, classes, and stuff like that, so you guys can be able to play with them also. So, like I said, that document will come out here sometime this fall for you guys, and you guys can recreate some of these players you guys probably enjoy from this series. There's also players that we played against, also too, that I thought were really fun to play against, and quarterbacks, wide receivers, all those type, really more of position players that you'll see in those draft classes there. Maybe a couple of of course defensive linemen, but maybe a couple offensive linemen there I thought that were pretty good. In all these different seasons that we're in. John Ross, another good player there. Barnett, another great, excellent player there. I mentioned Brett Jackson, another excellent player that's just been top notch. Eddie Young, another one of those young players that have been doing a great job there. Junior red shirt there. Defensive end, he has been a monster on that line, ripping and tearing through offensive lines there, and he has just been really doing a great job there of stepping up and showing out there what he can do. And I'm hoping he will not go early. I hope he will stick around for another year there. My rule is if they want to go pro, if they're really good, okay, yeah, let them go. But I'm really hoping that we can keep Eddie around for at least another year, because this kid has got something special about him, and I really think he's gonna be. He really reminds me of Sheldon Sherman. If you guys watch my Highland Scotties series, the first couple of years with the Highland Scotties, Sheldon Sherman was a monster on that line. And at one point, he was gifted enough and talented enough that he could play a linebacker position. And at some point out there, I was going to switch him over to a linebacker position, but I decided to keep him there on the line. But Eddie Young, another one of those great players there, he's having a great season so far here, and I love calling out his name because he's just a kid that he just rips to that line there, especially just scares the hell out of quarterbacks there. I know he did a good job there against that BYU game that we just seen in the last episode. And then a couple of episodes ago, he also, I think it was that Oregon game, he had a really good game against that quarterback there and had a couple good sacks. Matt Mann, another great player. Zach Melton, we got to go back and talk to him. We got to talk about him. He's having a great year right now. He's leading, I think, in interceptions. Him and Bennett. See, I get those two mixed up. There's a Bennett and a Barnett. Bennett, both are all defensive players, but Bennett is another corner. Bennett and him have been doing a great job there, being ball hawks there, and just really tearing it up. There you see Zach Melton from Fort Bliss, Texas, 6'2", 200-pound junior red shirt. He's gonna go to the NFL. He is just gonna be there. He's gonna be there. There you see with 7 interceptions this season. So his numbers are plus 90 there. The only thing that's not there is that catch, but that's fine. But this kid has got great awareness, great man-to-man skills, and then can really accelerate. I mean, in the last episode you seen against BYU, when Malone caught that pass, BYU, Zach Melton literally ran across the field and finally caught up with him and took him down with a little help there. But yeah, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, that's amazing. And I've been really just finding him on the field when they throw the ball in his direction. It's like, oh, if it goes to Melton, he got it. And then not to mention the ridiculous circus catches he's been making. One-hand catches now. Kids at home, when you play that position, the corner position is pretty tough. But when you play that position and you got a ball coming at you, use 2 hands. Do not one-hand catch it. It's great. That's sports highlights, Sports Center highlights, stuff like that. That's great. But use 2 hands, because NFL scouts will like you seeing you play that position the way it needs to be played, with 2 hands, not with 1, but 2. But Zach Melton, just a great kid. and a great corner there for us. And then, of course, Bennett, he's learning a lot from that young man, from Zach Melton also. There you see 6'2", 179 pounds, and a redshirt junior for us. And his numbers start going up there, and he has started making picks there. And I believe they are in the top 5. Both of them are in the top 5 interceptions this season. So they've been working their butts off there and been doing a great job there. And I'm hoping if we do play a national championship game, and if it happens to be against either Taylor or Steve, because that's what it looks like it's going to be, I'm hoping that that my corners will show up and step up and make some good plays when it comes to passing, because those two, they've been really lifesavers for us in a lot of situations there this season here. They've been doing a great job there, especially getting us good field position. They're like just clutch. So nice job there. I gotta say thank you to them of what they've been doing this season. It's been a lot of fun seeing them play. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, defense has been doing a great job for us, and I'm loving it. I think it's awesome to see that our defense are stepping up and showing what they can do, and I'm just hoping that will continue once we get into the postseason. Once we get to the Pac-12 championship, especially once we get to a bowl game or the national championship game. Those are the games they really need to show up, and that really, in games like that will definitely raise their stock in the draft. So, and that's what a lot of these guys are looking forward to next season, especially the ones that are gonna, this is their last year, last chance to show off. There you see Graham, of course, that broken ankle. He's gonna be out for 6 weeks, and it's gonna be really tough. It's been tough to replace him, but at the same time, it's been nice seeing Brandon Walker be able to do what he does there in the backfield there, helping us out. There you see the current top 25. We are now number 1 in the nation, as Taylor's dropped down for whatever reason to number 2. Steve has jumped up 2 spots from number 7 to number 5. He got Boise State, or he defeated Boise State. Taylor looked like he defeated Army in a big blowout game there in that Armed Forces game. And then you see the rest of the top 25 coming up here as we're about to almost get finished with this episode here, showing the stats and scores and stuff from this previous week. When is this? Week 11. There you see some of the teams that have received first place votes, and of course the ones that dropped out, LSU and some others there. Take a look at the BCS standings right now, the top 10. You see Stanford at number 1, Air Force number 2, Texas A&M at 3, California at 4, number 5, of course, Lovely Lions, Minnesota at number 6, Illinois at 7, Navy at 8, Ohio State at 9, and of course Penn State at number 10. As Penn State look like they jumped up 6 spots there on the BCS top 10 there in the BCS polling. Now, as for the Stanford Cardinals here, of course, we're leading right now 10-0, 7-0 in conference. That big game coming up, it's going to be a decision maker here. It's going to be the tiebreaker because if Cal wins it, and the only way we can play in the Pac-12 championship game for a Pac-12 title, it'll be our second title in this. I believe we're going for a third title. A third title in this series. We will have to beat Cal. We don't want Cal to beat us. And of course, the last couple of years now, last 3 seasons now, we beat Cal, and last 2 seasons, I should say. Last 2 seasons we beat Cal. We didn't beat them in season 1, so it's been nice beating them both at home and especially on the road. But we have to really step it up here this one because there's a lot on the line. National championship, of course, on the line. Of course, Pac-12 championship is on the line. And of course, we could be seeing USC here coming up in that Pac-12 game, championship game coming up later on in the season. And of course, we have not played them at all this season. We have not played them, I believe, since season 2 or either season 1 or season 2 since we played them. So it's been a while because I think you have a 2-year absence before you see anybody that you played before. So you have every 2 years you have to wait to play them. There you see Mountain West right now, the top 2 teams in the Mountain West that could join us next year. Looks like it's going to be Utah State and Hawaii. So they can be joining the Pac-12 next year. Of course, it's relegation. That's what we're doing, at least in this. Here in the Pac-12, we're doing that. I don't know about everywhere else in this, at least in this version of NCAA. I know in my Highland Scotty series, we do a relegation there. If you guys want to know more about that, check out on the other video there. As I talk, there's an off-season video that talks about it. The most latest off-season video, we talk about the relegation and how that goes there. But basically, it's the top 2 teams in the. There's the Power 5 schools. The top 2, the worst 2 teams in the Power 5 get dropped down to their sister conference. For instance, for the Pac-12 that I'm in that one, we have, I think it's the Conference USA. So the top 2 teams in Conference USA get brought up to the to the Big 10 or Big 12, and then the worst 2 teams, one representing the South, one representing the North, get dropped down to Conference USA, and then they have to win that following year. They have to win the first year in that conference. They have to win the Conference USA, or they come back, or either be the winner, be the champion, be in the championship game. Basically, that's what they have to do to go back in the Pac, or not Pac-12, in the Big 10. Take a look here at some of this conference numbers there for Steve's conference there in the Conference USA. But that's how we do. That's how I'm doing in my Highland Scotty series. So there, like I said, there's an off-season video. I'll try to leave a link down below for that one. You guys can check that out because I explained it there. But yeah, and I do that for every conference except for one, and that is the Sun Belt. The Sun Belt, the top, whoever basically leads the top, and whoever has the best record in the Sun Belt gets brought up to the SEC, and then whoever the worst team in the SEC overall is, that worst team in the SEC gets dropped down to the to the Sun Belt. So, for instance, like this past season, the season that I'm in right now, Kentucky was the worst team in the SEC, so they got dropped down to the Sun Belt, and then the best team in the Sun Belt was Louisiana. So then they got brought up. So that's how that worked in that. So, but I'm only doing the relegate one. I'm only a conference in this, and at least in this dynasty, it's doing relegation. There you see the Heisman watch. There you see Speedy Davis, the halfback for Air Force. There you see his numbers from that game against Army. 22 carries for 121 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, 8 receptions, 63 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Okay, Taylor, I see what you're doing. So getting some extra reps getting some more passes there to the halfback, and make me have to work a little bit more. Maybe I have to have Mark maybe even throw the ball. No, I'm not gonna do that. But Mark, there you see his numbers from last week against BYU. 8 receptions, 133 yards, and 4 touchdowns there for him. Maybe I'll put him in the fullback position or something, or the halfback position. Make him run the ball for rushing touchdowns too. Oh, they would hate me for that. Anyway, Kellen Baldwin, there you see his numbers there for the Lovely Lions. 14 receptions. He had 2 touchdowns there. I think a little over somewhere around 200 yards or so. Or on the ground. Daltrey, the quarterback there for the Fighting Irish, and then of course Tim Spencer for USC. Those 2 are actually trending downward, and Steve's guy Kellen there is trending upward. So those are the current Heisman Trophy candidates for this year. Now let's take a look at our the board here for us this year. Now, this board's not official. These are some of the players that we've been looking at here. Some of them are going to be signing here really, really soon. Some of them are going to be some of them will be signing for us very soon, and then some of them are not. As you take a look here, we got some battles here. Taylor and I are fighting, of course, for Garrett there on the guard there. He's 77 overall guard. He's the number one guard there. He's a good pass blocker there. 5-star athlete, or 5-star guard there. And we're both fighting for him, but I think Utah may have him in the end there. So there's been some pretty good battles here amongst all of us here in this one, which is pretty cool to see, but it's also really annoying. You have to play. I mean, it's annoying when the computer does it, but when two of your closest friends do it to you, it's like, really, dude, like, let me have it. But no, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. And there you see Rudy Taylor. We're hoping that he will go ahead and sign with us. Just hurry up and put your name on the damn scholarship there, kid. Because Taylor looks like he is out of this one. I think we got that one locked in. But some of these guys are taking their time here. They're asking for certain things. Some of them made their visits already. Some of them have not. I've got a couple of guys coming up here. Matter of fact, I got 2 coming in on our bye week because they're scheduling wise. We could not get them in earlier, or we could not get them after for the Cal game and whatnot, which would make sense because we're not going to be at home on the Cal game. But I think the Notre Dame game, I think we should be home. But yeah, we got some, and then of course we got some just kind of holding out. They're getting some good offers from other schools. Maybe you can get a little bit of some, maybe getting those brown paper sacks that are from McDonald's that are kind of interesting. But yeah, it's tough. We're making some moves here, and then there's some guys at the last minute I put some on the board here. But then recently here's Sean Bryant. He's an athlete. Derek Thomas, not the Derek Thomas, but Derek Thomas, a corner there. Caleb Church, I was really hoping that we were going to get him, but TCU snagged him at the last minute. And then, of course, you see a lot of athletes that we got there that I was really impressed with. They're going to come in for next season. We'll see where they're at. Dane Hewing, George Davis, Vince Adams are another athletes that I think are going to be very impactful, I think, on the offensive side of the ball there for us. There's a few that are going to be on the defensive side, but for the most part, I think they're just some of them that have not signed yet, they're just waiting probably after our bye week. Hopefully they'll sign, I'm hoping. But there you see our schedule so far here this season. We've had a good run here. We had, of course, a couple of close games, and then some game, and then we're starting to kind of pull away from a lot of teams here. And of course, we got the number 4. Hopefully, they'll still be undefeated there once we go get past these 2 weeks here. Cal, there you see 8-0 right now. Overall and 5-0 in the Pac-12. And of course, like I said, that's a big game for us. Big game for both schools, really. Because the winner of that is going to, of course, go possibly to the Pac-12 championship game and represent the North. And we're trying to be that team. We're trying to be that team to be there. And, of course, the big game of them all, win, despite if we're having a good season or not, and that is that Notre Dame game. Number 15 Notre Dame. It's a primetime game, and it's at home from the lights there. And we'll see how well we do against them. We've been crushing them now here for this is the 3rd year. It's been 3 years in a row that we defeated them. And we could see number 4 coming up here very soon. So there you see the Week 12 matchups there. Minnesota, undefeated Minnesota to be exact, 7-0 in the Conference USA, or overall, but it's 2-0 in the Conference USA, taking on 6-0 and 2-0 also in the Conference USA. This is going to be a good match. I wish I could watch this match here because I think this is going to be a good matchup here. I'm hoping Steve does not murder them. To be honest, I'm hoping that Minnesota will make a game. If worst case scenario, but if they do, I hope if they do win, I hope they win by a field goal. That's what I'm saying. And of course, Air Force playing this week too. So a lot of big games coming up here for both of those guys too. They got some big games coming up. They got Taylor, of course, has a Pac-12 game, or why does he keep saying Pac-12? Big 12 game coming up too. I think Oklahoma might be the threat that he has to watch out for. But yeah, a lot of things can happen. A lot of things can go sideways before the end of the season. Hopefully, we're not on that spectrum, but nonetheless, I'm hoping that we can get past these next 2 weeks. Hopefully, have some good practices coming up, and everybody's relaxed and calm. And then we head up to Berkeley, California, to take on Cal and those damn Golden Bears. But that is it for this episode of the Stanford Cardinals Online Dynasty, episode 61. It's a quick review there of the season so far. So far, like I said, it's been a good season. But, we got some big games coming up here. I'm very nervous here, especially this game coming up here against Cal. So stay tuned for that. That should be coming up here in the next day or two. So stay tuned for the channel. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new. Hit that sub button. It's free. You don't have to pay for nothing. But also hit that bell notification too, so you guys can be notified of this series or any other series here on the channel that happens to drop here on ESGNet LP. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord, as you guys can check the socials there. Don't forget to, if you want to check out my Highland Scotty series or any other series that we have on the main channel, there is a link down below to the main channel on ESGNet. Check us out over there, as we got a little over 1,100 subscribers over there on the channel, and continue growing even right now. So thank you guys for all those guys that are over there supporting. Definitely check it out, and we greatly appreciate it. You guys can subscribe over there and also subscribe here, because most of the videos on this channel come out on Tuesday, Thursdays, and the weekends. And then on the main channel, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and of course the weekends also there over there too. So both channels have something every single day up on the channel. So, but again, thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more here for the Stanford Cardinals. As always, keep yourselves each other healthy, and I will see you guys next time.